Hello everyone, welcome back to the shop. I hope you all had a good New Year's and a good Christmas too. I've been working on something for the past few months that I really should have been videoing, but I haven't so far. I'm pretty excited to show you guys it. I think it's going to be very interesting to some of you, and it might confuse a couple of you because it's a vintage machine. Well, I'm building a new machine that is a vintage machine. Let me show you what I mean. Are you ready to see what I've been working on? Power hacksaw. I've been building a hacksaw that can cut up to 14 inches in diameter, 14-inch round stock. It'll be powered by this DC motor, 3/4 horse. It's going to be geared down quite substantially, I think 2,500 RPM down to about 175. I might get another sprocket and make that 2,500 down to about 100 RPM. It's going to have it has a coolant pump, which is actually a hydraulic pump. I'm going to use that for my coolant tank. And as this spins, it will put flood oil directly over the blade so that it keeps everything cool and lubricated. I used another hydraulic, or I'm using another hydraulic cylinder as my down feed. I will have a cam attached right here that will lift the blade on the backstroke. I'm going to use this steel for the slide. It's going to be heavily reinforced and it'll be dovetailed. That way it's only held on one side and leaves a good strip for me to reinforce it. I'm using 1-inch pillow block bearings to hold the crank and act as the pivot. The frame that holds the actual blade is going to be forged, partially for strength and also just because I think it would look better than a welded up frame. It's just because I can. It's just for fun. And it won't be all that much more expensive. These channels here, C-channel, angle iron, this over here, that is all to collect the oil. I'm going to be drilling and welding a port down there, just goes directly to the tank. I received this door, I think 2 days ago, and I figured it would be perfect as the base. It makes it wide enough and big enough that it can be picked up by a pallet jack. I'm going to put legs on the outside of the forks. That way it's more stable. Don't know if that's going to affect the strength of the overall structure. These spindly legs that are on it, there were only 3, but I had to put a 4th leg on to make sure it didn't tip this way. I'm going to beef those up quite a bit. I might actually cut one of them off and go a different route. Overall, it's coming along nicely, I think. I haven't videoed it up until this point because I didn't know if I would actually be able to do it. A couple of my other projects, the helical milling project and the tool and cutter grinder project, I haven't been able to finish. I haven't even been able to work on them because I didn't have the resources to finish them. So I waited and thought everything out, and I can get this one done. I have everything I need on the way. I actually ordered these sprockets and a bunch of chain. So it should be getting done by the end of January, maybe February. So all of these cracks will be filled in with with caulking. The reason that I'm building a power hacksaw instead of buying one, now most people would buy one because they're reasonable. I can't find one near me. I've been looking for quite a while, and they've either been far too expensive, 5 hours away, or they've been way too small. So I decided to build one because that's the next best option. Whenever I'm done, I'm going to paint it so it looks nice and do all of those things, and it should look, or should be, a very nice machine. Well, I figure since you haven't seen me do much for the last few months, might as well show you me putting a new leg on this hacksaw. Also, the blade had arrived not too long ago. 18 inches long. It looks pretty comical, I think. It looks like a normal hacksaw blade, but just bigger. I'm going to put this on here is a leg. I gotta cut it and mill it, make sure it's all square, and also I'm gonna put the drain port in. I already drilled the hole for it, 3/4 inch, so that all the oil gets pumped out by the gear pump and go back down to the sump. So I'll get cutting on that and I'll set it up on the K&T. It's starting to get a little bit late, but I think I can get this done before I go to bed. So I have the K&T all set up with this forklift tine, 1.5 inch end mill and a 1.25 inch end mill holder. I'm going to be running it at 250 RPM, 2.25 or 2 3/4 inches a minute, which would give me about 5 to 6 thousandths per tooth. It's going to be going along pretty good. Pretty deep depth of cut. I mean, not deep, but yeah, deep for a home shop. I would be using more flutes, but that's the only 1.25 inch end mill I have, so let's get to cutting. Well, that was quick. A little bit of material left up here, but not much. Really good surface finish. A little bit of material left down here too, but yeah. One pass. Don't need any more. Any more passes and you just complicate it. For my next trick, I have the other side all squared up, and I'm going to take about 200 thousandths. From this end in, it's about 200 thousandths. This is maybe 3/8, ½ inch thick. So I did raise the table up quite a bit so that the bottom is over the center line of the cutter, so it doesn't put too much force down, but it kind of spreads it out in the x-axis and the on the knee, the y-axis. So let's get this cut. This one's going to take 2 cuts because this is going to be what determines the length. So let's get it done. Sitting here on the floor of the workshop, and forklift tine is in place, deburred, all cleaned up to get welded on to the hacksaw, hopefully to beef it up. This single chunk of angle iron just looked kind of goofy, to be honest. It's going off of this chunk of angle iron via a chunk of steel plate that is C-clamped to the angle iron, that is C-clamped to the forklift tine. I did have to put in 2 nails to bring it out a bit, but now it's all ready to weld up. We'll get that done and I'll bring you guys back and we'll go to bed. And I got it square, pretty square. Not perfect, we'll get it more perfect though. I think that fills it out quite nicely. Still not as big and heavy duty as I would like it, but I'm probably going to add some gusseting in here, or at least put in some trusses. Well, thank you for watching up until this point. I'm sorry I only got that one little bit done. It's about 10:30 now. Like and subscribe if you like this content. If you'd like to see more of this hacksaw get put together, I'm going to be making more videos on it. If you'd like more regular updates, naturally go to my Instagram page. It's InWorld Forge. Same as my YouTube channel. So, have a good day. Have a good rest of your night. And stay safe. Stay healthy.